security challenges in Iraq.
But 60% of Iraqis want the US out.
Even more. I'm not party to figures and percentages, but definitely we cannot rely forever on the presence of the United States in Iraq. And that's why we need to adjust ourselves and to create our own institutions.
It's not happening, though, is it? It's not happening.
Institutions which are rid of militias. Now the institutions, unfortunately, have been infiltrated by militias. It's not happening, not yet. That's why we need a government that would have a very clear mandate to address the security issue in Iraq, including building institutions which are loyal to the state, not loyal to the sect or loyal to the groups or individuals.
But these are just words, aren't they? This is a dream. You're nowhere near to that beautiful scenario.
No, it's not a dream. It may be a dream, but
the reality is dozens dying on the streets of Iraq every day. That's the reality, and it's not going away, is it? The surge has made no difference.
No, the surge is supposed to provide the conditions for political reconciliation.
But it hasn't.
No, there's a lack of...
So it's a failure. The surge is a failure.
The surge is, if you look at it from a military point of view, maybe it has slightly reduced the violence, slightly. But in terms, if you look at it politically, then it haven't achieved any results so far.
British forces right to leave Basra at the end of the year?
They are preparing to leave.
I know, but are they right to go? It's the right decision? They have nothing more to do?
Well, it's a statement of failure in Basra. It's a gross failure of policy.
So you blame the British for that, do you?
Well, I blame the whole group of multinational forces, the countries participating in the multinational forces, as well as the Iraqis themselves. What we have in Basra, militias running the streets and controlling the streets and taking law and order into their hands.
So they're giving up too early then?
Much too early.
You're calling for a regional diplomatic strategy, the involvement of the Arab world. The Arab world doesn't wish you well, you know that, don't you?
This is not my information. I constantly speak to Arab leaders, to Islamic leaders.
But you know the reality is that they don't want another regional power. They don't want a strong Iraq. You know that as well as I do.
Tim,
we've debated it here in this forum.
Well, Tim, the reality is that they feel now the danger of having a destabilized Iraq, a weak Iraq, is only causing trouble to the whole region.
Your own foreign minister, Hosni Zebari, has been saying to the other Arab states, get out of our affairs, repeatedly. Get out of our affairs. That's not indication of an Arab nations wanting to help you.
Now they are calling for Arab help and trying to sort out the Turkish tension with Turkey, the Turkish problem with the Kurds. And I think
I'm sure there'll be some questions on that.
This is one of the problems, frankly, is that Iraq have been avoiding its Arab depth and getting along with the Arab world and with the Islamic world. And unfortunately, the only side where Iraq is moving is towards Iran, closer and closer to Iran, neglecting the relations with the rest of the Islamic and Arab world. And this is a very wrong policy. That's why we need a government with an assertive foreign policy.
And you need, you say, a state of emergency.
And we need a state of emergency.
Which would be a huge step back.
Well,
you want to suspend the political process totally?
You call it back, I call it forward.
How can it be? Suspending people's rights?
It's the people, I think, who are
letting the secret police loose again?
No, not loose again, but we need to bring law and order to the country. The most
Your former defense minister recommended chopping off insurgents' heads and hands. You want to go back to that sort of thing?
No, not really, but we know...
Not really or not at all? Doesn't sound very convincing.
No, not really, because, you know, I tell you, the problem in Iraq now is the bloodshed.
And you would use force to reimpose security?
If this needs to force...
Even though it hasn't been working and the Americans have shown it can't work. You have the most powerful army the world has ever seen in Iraq, and it can't bring peace. So force isn't working, is it?
Force does not work alone.
Well, they've been talking to insurgents as well.
Force needs to be combined with talking to insurgents, with the opening dialogue with the resistance, And likewise with activating the economical process.
The truth is, isn't it, Iyad Allawi, that the situation is spiraling out of control and you have no answers for it?
No, we do.
You blame the Maliki government, you blame the Americans, you blame the British, you blame everybody, but you think you have some solution to this?
The plan we put forward, I put forward, is very clear and understandable. And really it calls for Iraq to retrieve its institutions that are capable of facing the threats in the country, and to have an assertive foreign policy, to be strong and adamant, to work with the regional countries to form a security understanding that would involve everyone, including Iran, and really to embark on non-sectarian building the institutions on non-sectarian basis.
Sounds like distant dreams. Is the US, you mentioned Iran there. Is the US going to hit Iran, in your view?
I don't know. I'm not